Life flows effortlessly when you stop forcing things that are not meant to be. Most people spend their lives chasing, pushing, and struggling against the natural rhythm of existence. They believe that the harder they push, the faster they will get what they want. But this is an illusion. The truth is, anything that requires excessive force is not aligned with you. Think about it. Have you ever truly enjoyed something that you had to force? When you force relationships, they become toxic. When you force success, it leads to burnout. When you force happiness, it feels fake. The greatest things in life, peace, love, wisdom, are not captured by force. They are received with ease. This does not mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you align with the natural flow of life. You take action, but you also surrender to what is. You move with purpose, but you do not cling to the outcome. You trust that what is meant for you will come in its own time. The more you force something, the more resistance you create. It is like swimming against the current of a river. You exhaust yourself, but you do not move forward. Life has its own rhythm, its own flow, and when you align with it, everything becomes easier. You must understand that control is an illusion. You cannot control people, you cannot control timing, you cannot control every outcome. But you can control your mindset, your actions, and your energy. And when you shift your energy from forcing to allowing, everything changes. You stop chasing what is not meant for you. You stop wasting time on things that drain you. You stop resisting what is already happening. And in that moment, you gain true power. The power of alignment, of trust, of effortless action. Look at nature. Does the river force its way through rocks, or does it carve a path naturally? Does a tree rush to grow, or does it allow time to shape it? Everything in nature moves with its own timing, without stress or struggle. Yet humans force life to bend to their will, believing that pushing harder will bring faster results. But have you ever noticed that the best things in life happen unexpectedly? The right person walks in when you least expect it. The perfect opportunity appears when you stop searching. The answer comes when you finally quiet the mind. This is not coincidence, it is the result of letting go. Letting go of control, of expectations, of resistance. Many people misunderstand surrender. They think it means giving up. They think it means doing nothing. But surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. It means understanding when to act and when to step back. It means knowing that some things are beyond your control. You do not plant a seed and dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust the process. You water it, give it sunlight, and allow time to do its work. Life is no different. You take action, you stay disciplined, but you do not force the result. Forcing creates desperation, and desperation repels success. When you trust the timing of your life, you move with confidence, not fear. So why do people force things? Fear. Fear of failure, fear of missing out, fear of not being enough. They believe that if they do not control everything, their life will fall apart. But this is an illusion. The more you cling, the more you suffer. The more you resist, the more painful life becomes. The happiest people are not the ones who force life into submission. They are the ones who trust, who adapt, who flow. They understand that some doors are meant to stay closed. They know that what is truly theirs will never require force. And because of this, they walk through life with peace, with ease, with unshakable confidence. There is a difference between discipline and force. Discipline is essential. It creates structure, it builds strength, it prepares you for success. But force is different. Force is when you refuse to accept reality, when you push against what is, when you ignore the signs that something is not working. Imagine holding onto a rope that is burning your hands. You grip tighter, thinking you can control the pain, but the tighter you hold, the more damage you do. The wise person knows when to let go. They know that forcing something that is not meant for them only leads to suffering. The problem is most people do not trust themselves. They do not trust life. They think that if they stop forcing, nothing will happen, but this is not true. When you stop forcing, you open space for the right things to come. You shift from desperation to attraction. You move from fear to faith. And in that shift, everything changes. The energy you carry determines what you attract. If you act from desperation, you push away what you want. If you act from confidence, you naturally attract what is meant for you. This is not magic, it is energy. It is alignment. It is understanding that the universe responds to who you are, not what you force. Think about a time in your life when things happened effortlessly. Maybe you met someone who changed your life in an unexpected way. Maybe an opportunity appeared out of nowhere. Maybe you found clarity when you were not even searching for it. These moments happened because you were in alignment, not because you forced them. Now think about a time when you tried to force something. How did it feel? Heavy, exhausting, frustrating. That is because when you force things, you are working against the natural flow of life. When you align, things move with ease. So how do you stop forcing and start flowing? First, become aware of when you are pushing too hard. Notice when you are acting out of fear instead of trust. Second, ask yourself, am I moving with intention, or am I desperately chasing something? Third, learn to listen to life. Life is always speaking to you, giving you signs, guiding you in the right direction. But if you are too busy forcing things, you will miss the messages. When you quiet the mind, when you observe instead of react, when you trust instead of resist, you will see that life is not against you. It is always guiding you. The key is balance. You do not give up on your goals, but you do not chase them with desperation. You do not sit back and expect things to happen, but you do not force outcomes that are not ready. You act, but you also allow. You work hard, but you also trust. This is the secret to effortless success. This is the way to true peace. You cannot force life to move at your pace, but you can align yourself with its flow. And when you do, everything you seek will come, not through struggle, but through effortless alignment. Most people live their entire lives trying to force things into existence, believing that their willpower alone can bend reality to their desires. They fight, they struggle, they push against the flow of life, only to find themselves exhausted and frustrated. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why is it so hard? Why does it feel like no matter how much effort you put in, the results never seem to match? The answer is simple. What is truly meant for you does not require force. It does not require desperation. It does not require you to sacrifice your peace. If something is constantly slipping from your grasp, if it drains you more than it fulfills you, then maybe it was never meant to be yours in the first place. But the mind refuses to accept this. It clings, it resists, it tries to manipulate circumstances to fit its expectations, and in doing so it creates suffering. Letting go of force does not mean giving up. It means understanding the difference between effort and struggle. Effort is necessary. Effort is the discipline, the action, the commitment to growth. But struggle? Struggle is when you try to control the uncontrollable. It is when you refuse to accept reality and attempt to mold it into something it is not. This is why so many people feel stuck in life. They are trying to force relationships that are not meant for them. They are chasing success in areas they are not aligned with. They are pushing themselves into situations that go against their inner wisdom, and when things do not work, they blame themselves, thinking they just need to try harder. But the truth is, no amount of force can make the wrong thing right. The right things in life flow. They may require effort, but they never require struggle. When you stop forcing, you create space for the right things to enter your life. Imagine holding a closed fist. Nothing can enter, nothing can leave. This is what forcing does. It keeps you rigid, stuck, closed off from new possibilities. Now imagine opening your palm. Suddenly, there is space. Space for something better, space for something aligned. But most people are too afraid to open their hand. They are afraid to let go of what is familiar, even if it is painful. They cling to toxic relationships, dead-end jobs, outdated beliefs, anything that gives them a sense of control. But control is an illusion. The tighter you hold on, the more you suffer. True strength comes not from clinging, but from trusting. Trusting that if something is meant for you, it will stay. And if it is not, it will leave, no matter how hard you try to hold on. One of the biggest areas where people force things is in relationships. They try to make people love them. They try to make friendships last that have already run their course. They chase attention, validation, approval, thinking that if they just say the right thing, do the right thing, they can make someone stay. But love, real love, is never forced. It flows naturally, effortlessly. The moment you have to beg for love, it is no longer love. It is attachment. And attachment is not the same as connection. A connection is mutual. It is two people choosing each other freely. Attachment, on the other hand, is fear disguised as love. It is the fear of being alone, the fear of not being enough, the fear of losing something that was never really yours to begin with. When you stop forcing love, you allow the right people to come into your life. The people who see you, who appreciate you, who choose you. Not because they have to, but because they want to. People believe that if they stop forcing things, they will be left with nothing. They fear that without constant pushing, striving and struggling, life will not give them what they desire. But this is not how life works. The universe does not reward desperation. It rewards alignment. The things that are truly meant for you are drawn to you when you are in a state of flow, not when you are in a state of resistance. Think about the moments in your life when everything seemed to come together effortlessly. Were you stressed? Were you desperate? Or were you simply living, being, allowing? When you stop chasing and start trusting, you will see that everything you need has been trying to find its way to you all along. But you were too busy forcing the wrong things to notice. One of the greatest illusions people fall into is believing that they must struggle to prove their worth. Society has glorified struggle, making people believe that unless they are constantly fighting, they are not working hard enough. But struggle is not the same as effort. Struggle is resistance. It is trying to push life in a direction it does not want to go. And the more you resist, the more life pushes back. This is why some people seem to work so hard yet achieve so little. They are forcing, not flowing. They are using energy in the wrong places, chasing things that were never meant for them. But those who understand alignment move differently. They do not waste time on doors that refuse to open. They do not force relationships, opportunities, or situations that drain them. Instead, they trust, and because of that, they succeed effortlessly. Letting go of force is not about doing less. It is about doing what actually matters. People waste years chasing the wrong things, thinking that if they just try a little harder, they will finally get what they want. But what if what you want is not what you need? What if life is holding something better for you, but you are too focused on the wrong path to see it? The mind likes to believe that it knows best, that it can control everything, but there is a wisdom beyond the mind, a wisdom that comes from deep awareness. And when you stop forcing, when you step back and listen, that wisdom becomes clear. You begin to see where your energy is best used. You begin to recognize the signs life has been showing you all along. And in that clarity, you find peace. Some of the most powerful moments in life happen when you least expect them. The right people come into your life when you are not searching for them. The perfect opportunity appears when you stop chasing it. The answers you have been seeking arrive when you quiet your mind. Why? Because the energy of forcing pushes things away. When you are desperate, you create resistance. You act from a place of lack, but when you trust, when you move with ease, you create space for what is truly meant for you. This is why the most magnetic people are the ones who are at peace. They do not chase, they attract. They do not force, they align. And because of that, life flows effortlessly for them. When you stop forcing, you also stop living in fear. Fear is what drives people to hold on to things that are already falling apart. Fear is what keeps people stuck in situations that no longer serve them. Fear is what makes people believe that if they let go, they will lose everything. But the truth is, you are not losing anything real when you let go of what is not meant for you. You are simply making room for something greater. Fear will tell you that you must force things to work. Fear will tell you that if you stop pushing, you will fall behind. But what if the opposite is true? What if by letting go, you actually move forward? What if by trusting, you allow life to bring you something even better? Look at the times in your life when you tried to force something to happen. Did it ever truly bring you happiness? Or did it leave you exhausted, frustrated, and disappointed? Now think about the moments when you allowed things to unfold naturally. Did you not feel lighter, freer, more at peace? The lesson here is simple. Life does not require your struggle. It requires your trust. It requires you to act, yes, but not from a place of fear or desperation. It requires you to be present, to listen, to align yourself with the flow rather than fight against it. And when you do, everything shifts. Opportunities appear, the right people come, the right circumstances unfold, not through force, but through harmony. People misunderstand surrender. They think it means giving up. They think it means doing nothing. But surrender is not passive. It is an active choice to trust. It is the wisdom to know when to act and when to wait. It is the ability to recognize that not everything needs to happen on your timeline. The seed does not grow faster because you are impatient. The sun does not rise quicker because you demand it. Everything unfolds in its own time. And your job is not to control that timing. It is to prepare yourself to receive when the time is right. When you understand this, life becomes easier. You stop forcing what is not meant for you. You stop resisting what is already happening. And in that space, you find freedom. The greatest strength comes from knowing when to let go. When you force something, you create stress, anxiety, and frustration. But when you trust, you move with grace. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop seeking validation. You stop chasing things that are running away from you. Instead, you walk with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you will always find you. This is not about being passive. This is about being wise. This is about knowing that life is always working in your favor, even when it does not seem like it. And when you move with this awareness, you no longer feel the need to force anything. Because you understand that the things that are truly meant for you will never require force. When you stop forcing things, you allow yourself to experience life as it is, not as you think it should be. This is where true power lies, not in control, but in awareness. Most people spend their entire lives trying to shape the world around them, believing that if they just work harder, push more, or manipulate circumstances, they will finally get what they want. But the greatest transformations do not come from control. They come from surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is the highest form of intelligence. It is knowing when to move forward and when to step back. It is the ability to recognize that life has a rhythm of its own and that your only job is to align yourself with it. And when you do, you will see that life is not against you. It has never been. It has only been waiting for you to let go of your resistance. Many people fear letting go because they believe it means they are losing something. But what if you are not losing anything real? What if you are only losing your illusions? The illusion that you must struggle to be worthy. The illusion that you must force relationships to make them last. The illusion that success only comes through suffering. These beliefs have been placed in your mind by society, by conditioning, by fear. And the moment you let go of these illusions, you will see the truth. You were never meant to live in struggle. You were never meant to force things that do not flow. You were meant to move with ease, with clarity, with trust. But to do that, you must be willing to release the things that are weighing you down, the things that are blocking your path, the things that you have been clinging to out of fear rather than love. Imagine trying to swim while holding on to a heavy rock. No matter how strong you are, no matter how much you fight, the weight will pull you down. This is what forcing does to your life. It drains you. It keeps you stuck. It makes everything harder than it needs to be. But the moment you let go of the rock, something incredible happens. You begin to float. You begin to move effortlessly. You begin to experience life with a sense of lightness and ease. This is the secret that few understand. The secret that the most successful, the most peaceful, the most fulfilled people have discovered. They do not waste their energy holding on to what is heavy. They release. They trust. And because of that, life moves in their favor. When you stop forcing, you allow space for miracles to happen. The things you once thought were impossible begin to unfold naturally. The answers you have been searching for suddenly become clear. The doors that were once locked begin to open without effort. Why? Because you are no longer standing in your own way. Most of the suffering people experience is self-created. It comes from attachment. It comes from the refusal to accept what is. It comes from the belief that things must happen in a certain way and at a certain time. But life is always wiser than your mind. It knows when you are ready. It knows what is best for you. And when you finally trust that, when you finally stop forcing, you will see that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This is the key to true success. Not the kind of success that comes from struggle, but the kind that comes from alignment. When you are in alignment, things happen with ease. The right people show up at the right time. The right opportunities present themselves effortlessly. The path ahead becomes clear. Not because you forced it to happen, but because you allowed it. This is the difference between those who live in stress and those who live in flow. Those who force are always exhausted, always frustrated, always fighting against life. But those who trust move through life with grace. They do not chase, they attract. They do not resist, they allow. And because of that, they always end up exactly where they are meant to be. Some may ask, but what if nothing happens when I let go? What if I lose everything? This is the voice of fear speaking. Fear will always try to convince you that you must struggle, that you must control, that you must force things to happen. But fear is a liar. It has kept you stuck for too long. It has made you believe that the only way to succeed is to suffer. But look around. Are the happiest people the ones who struggle the most? Or are they the ones who trust the process? The ones who know that life is always guiding them? The ones who understand that what is meant for them will never require force? The choice is yours. You can keep forcing, keep struggling, keep exhausting yourself, or you can finally let go and see what happens when you move with trust instead of fear. The mind will always try to convince you that letting go is dangerous. It will say, if you do not force things, nothing will change. But this is not true. Letting go is not inaction. It is choosing the right action. It is recognizing that some things are simply not meant for you, no matter how badly you want them to be. It is having the wisdom to walk away from what drains you and towards what fulfills you. It is understanding that life is always speaking to you, always guiding you, always showing you the way. But you must be willing to listen. You must be willing to trust. You must be willing to believe that something better is waiting for you on the other side of surrender. When you stop forcing, you gain something far greater than what you were chasing. You gain freedom. The freedom to move without fear. The freedom to love without attachment. The freedom to trust without doubt. You no longer need to manipulate, to beg, to struggle. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to the world, because you know that what is meant for you will never miss you. And what misses you was never meant for you. This is the truth that will set you free. This is the wisdom that will bring you peace. And once you understand this, you will never again waste your energy forcing things that were never yours to begin with.